All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a huge question, a challenge every business is facing right now. How on earth do you reach your customers when they're, well, everywhere? Let's dive in.
Seriously, this is the question, right? Where are your customers? And the answer today isn't nearly as simple as it used to be, not by a long shot.
I mean, the obvious answer is they're online. Of course they are. They're scrolling through their feeds, hopping between websites, checking their inbox. You know the drill.
But wait, it's not just online. They're also, out there in the real world. They're walking into actual stores, picking up products, and touching and feeling things.
So the reality is, they're literally everywhere. Think about it. Someone might see your ad on Instagram while they're on the bus, do a little research on their laptop at home, and then pop into your store to actually buy it. Their journey is not a straight line anymore. It's all over the place.
And all of this creates what I like to call the modern customer maze. It's this tangled web of touch points, right? Your customers are scattered, and trying to keep up with them can feel, super confusing and fragmented.
So the big question is, how do you navigate this maze without getting lost? Well, you build a bridge. And that bridge, my friends, is multi-channel marketing. It's the whole strategy designed to connect all those scattered dots into one single, smooth journey.
Okay, so what is it really? At its heart, multi-channel marketing is just about making sure your brand shows up in a unified way across all those different places. And look, the key here isn't just being on a bunch of channels. It's about making sure your brand's voice, its personality, feels the same no matter where a customer runs into you.
Now, you've probably heard the word omni-channel too, right? And it's super easy to get them mixed up. So let's clear that up real quick. Think of it like this. Multi-channel is when your channels exist, but they kind of work in their own little silos. Omni-channel, that's the next evolution. That's when all those channels are talking to each other, sharing data, working together to create this one totally seamless experience for the customer.
Okay, but this isn't just some cool-sounding theory. Nope. This is a strategy that's backed by some pretty serious numbers. Let's look at the proof that shows why this really, really matters to your bottom line. First off, let's just think about how people actually shop. A huge 73% of consumers, that's almost 3/4, they prefer to shop using multiple channels. This isn't a trend we're forcing on them. It's how they already live, and they absolutely expect brands to be there with them.
And what happens when businesses actually meet that expectation? Well, the payoff is pretty incredible. We're talking an average revenue boost of 9.5% year after year. That's proof right there. Meeting your customers where they are isn't just good service, it's straight up good for business. Okay, so the numbers are convincing, but what does this actually look like in practice? Let's zoom in on some real-world examples, from a massive global brand to a small local shop, and see how they're making this work.
You know who does this incredibly well? Starbucks. Their rewards program is like the gold standard. They have absolutely nailed how to create a connected multi-channel experience.
So here's how they do it. You've got the mobile app, right? It's not just for ordering your latte. It's the home for all your rewards. It keeps you coming back. Then, bam, you get an email with a personalized offer that feels like it was made just for you. And then you walk into the store and you can pay with the app and cash in those rewards. See? Every channel has its own job, but they all work together perfectly.
And what's the result of all that? It's a totally seamless, frictionless journey for the customer. And for Starbucks, it gets more people in the door, and it gets them to spend more when they're there. Win-win.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. That's Starbucks. They're huge. But you do not have to be a giant corporation to pull this off. Let's look at a much more relatable example. A small local boutique during the holidays.
So here's what they do. It's simple, but it's so smart. They use their Instagram stories for daily gift ideas. Perfect for that platform. They send out emails with exclusive discounts to their loyal followers, creating a bit of urgency. But here's the magic trick. They tie it all together with a real-life in-store event, like a holiday workshop. Suddenly, it's not just about shopping, it's a community thing. And the result here is a little different from Starbucks, but just as powerful. They're not just making sales, they're telling a festive story across all their channels. And that story builds an amazing sense of community and turns first-time holiday shoppers into loyal, year-round fans. All right, so hopefully you're feeling a little inspired now. And the good news is you can start building your own multi-channel strategy today. It's not as complicated as it sounds. Let's just break it down into 3 basic actionable steps.
Step 1. Set your goals. Simple, right? But you've got to be clear. What does winning look like for you? Are you trying to get your name out there, or are you trying to drive sales? Get specific. Step 2. Know your audience. I mean, really know them. Map out their journey. Where do they spend their time? What makes them tick? This is how you figure out which channels you actually need to be on. And finally, step 3. Tailor your message. Your brand should always sound like you, but the way you say it should fit the platform. You wouldn't post a long essay on TikTok, right? You make a short video. It's about being consistent, but also being smart about the context.
So, at the end of the day, here's what it all comes down to. Your customers are already out there, making their own way through this maze. The only real question is this: are you building the right bridges to meet them, to make their journey with you not just easy, but maybe even unforgettable?